We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day, and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more, because we have an appointment with destiny.
What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. You would like to start the show on a separate note before we get going with baseball and everything, and issue a show apology to the San Ysidro girls lacrosse program. We're sorry. On to baseball. Let's talk about three things. Championships.
Yes.
Are we all okay talking champion? Oh, also got to introduce everybody real quick. This camera is Dave Ring. I get the sense that some people don't know the show. Dave Ring is DR Player Development. This window, he's a little more zoomed in than normal, but this is Bodie DeSilva from Scorebook Live. We promise, Bodie, you will be balanced a little bit better this time. Is that the new Padres hat? Is that the new camo Father's Day one? What do you got going on there?
It is not. It was one I found online that they had a size 8, and it's difficult to find an 8 that fits me.
Wow.
I agree with that. Bodie is on behalf of Scorebook Live. SB Live, not Scorebook Live. They have rebranded. They are the official digital content providers of all things. If you have not downloaded the app yet, what you doing, man?
Get on it.
You're being worse than our takes towards Santana baseball, which, you know what? I got to think back about this and say maybe across the board in aggregate, Santana might be one of the schools that we are the worst at supporting. We are historically pretty bad at getting on board with Santana at the right time in a lot of sports. In football, in baseball, in basketball, they do it to us every year. Congrats.
We'll give them some love today.
We will, but it's a little, at this point, it's very hollow and transparent that we are giving them love. As Don't Ignore Me.gif plays in my background here. Let's start this off by saying we're recording this Thursday, May 25th at 11 a.m. So all of the Division 5 games and one of the Division's 4 and 3 games have not been played to decide. So our disclaimer on all of these, we're going to talk about what we can, but we don't have a necessarily flexible time slot in any of this. So we got to get a little creative. We will take some liberties and predictions on both rounds of this with some of that. Bear with us if we strike out completely and we don't give your team an accurate finals prediction because we got the semifinals wrong. Our bad. That disclaimer thrown out. Guys, let's talk about the Division 5 bracket. Right now, it is utter chaos and true anarchy. Top half, we got Liberty Charter taking on St. Joseph's Academy, a rematch of the third proportions in this playoff. So they're basically playing a best-of-3 series. And then on the other side of this bracket, we got Kearney and Lincoln getting back at it for the best-of-3 series. So this is technically baseball. Yes. Like it is. They are playing a series.
I love it.
It's spread out over other tournament games and having to overcome stuff that it's not a direct series, but we basically have Game 3 or Game 7, if you will, or whatever, in two separate sides of this bracket. I don't know how we want to necessarily approach this. I don't want to do 4 permutations of final predictions, but let's talk semifinals games. I will go, hey, Dave, do yours. Bodie, do yours. We'll get through our whole, both sides of the semis and what that means for our finals prediction, if that's okay with you, instead of each semifinals game. So that being started, I will say, I got to roll with Liberty Charter in the first game over St. Joseph. I think that Liberty, they're the 1 seed. You got to assume that they have the edge here pitching-wise. Everybody's pretty depleted at this point in all of these brackets that we're going to talk about. So you're not going to get your number one guy out there for a full setting. But that being said, I think that Liberty Charter will top St. Joseph and move on. And I'm in on Kearney. I know that Lincoln had been a school that we had all talked about collectively. They have that public size. They have a little bit more depth, a little bit more athleticism. You got to lean on them. But I think Kearney has shown that grit, if you will, that grit and that grime. And at that point, I think Kearney will go on to be your Division 5 champions. That being said, let's transition over to Bodie. That I'd say I get a pretty fair vibe on when Bodie's nodding along in agreement with anything that I do. He didn't nod much there. So we'll see what Bodie's takes are on the Division 5 game. Let's start with that Liberty Charter St. Joseph game.
Yeah, with the remaining four, nothing would really surprise me. It is interesting. You get the two smaller private schools and then two city public on the other side. I liked Lincoln when we first saw this bracket. I will stick with the two home teams today. I think Liberty Charter, their last two games, 2-1 and 1-0. I think they find another way to get this one done today, and I think they'll play Lincoln. Ultimately, I like Lincoln to come up there, but if you told me come Saturday at 3 o'clock that any of these teams won it, it wouldn't surprise me. I think they're really evenly matched, and it's going to come down to who has enough pitching with them all having to play that extra game today.
I like Kearney. I think they've got the edge. Both teams with 20 wins this year. Impressive for both programs. Kearney 20-11, Lincoln 20-9. So, man, that's a lot of wins for both these programs. I'm going to take Kearney to edge out Lincoln in this best of three.
And then on to the finals for you.
Yes.
Kearney to win the finals?
Kearney on to the finals, yes.
And to win the finals?
Are we doing that?
Yes, I'm saying, yeah, like you get, yes, because these finals will be played before we get back to it next week.
That's true. All right, yeah, I'll take Kearney all the way through there.
Bodie, did you give your finals prediction as well? Yes?
Yeah, I got Lincoln.
Deal. I was filibustering to try and figure out how to get Dave back on the screen. I lost him there for a second. Okay, that is Division 5. Let's move on to Division 4. The Bishop School is clear through without taking an L in the playoffs. They are the 1 seed. We have talked about them all year long as being a full step above, if you will, a full point in the scoring type above the rest of the competition here, and it's starting to show. They will take on the winner of Imperial and Calexico as they play a winner-go-home game. I kind of feel no matter who comes out of this bracket, especially if they're playing this extra game, they're going to be at a disadvantage and having to play catch-up with Bishops. So I see no reason to veer from Bishops. And shout out to Cole Simons, potentially winning both football and now a baseball championship. Back to being the winningest Simons kid coaching in San Diego high school sports. Dave, let's get your take on the Division 4. Bishops already in, and then we got Imperial and Calexico.
Like you said, I said this last show, but with Bishop's strength of schedule this year, I think they're primed to take this bracket here. I think playing all these good teams like La Jolla Country Day, blah blah, they're ready to go. So I like Bishops. I'm going to take them all the way through here.
Bodie DeSilva, give me a second to pull you up on screen. There you are. Bodie DeSilva, your take.
I agree. I did look back and see that I went chalk with this one and went Bishops over Calexico. That Calexico Imperial one is really a toss-up. I guess I'm going to lean Imperial in this case. Now that goes against my original prediction, but Bishops 10-0, 5-1, 2-0. They've been dominant. Not that it's super interesting that the 1 seed's going to win, but that's my prediction here. I just think they're in a better spot. They got the extra day of rest and they'll be more prepared.
All right, the Bishops Knights. We look forward to seeing if that prediction comes true. I feel like they are our one team that we are heavily confident in any of these brackets. The rest of these have been fairly chaotic. So shout out to Bishops for being the only team that found steady ground throughout all of these playoffs. On to the Division 3 ones. Maranatha Christian. Hey, maybe they're turning back into the OG team that they were at the beginning of this year and finally like truly a threat. They have looked pretty dang good in these playoffs after cooling off a tad bit down the stretch. They are red hot. They are in. They'll play the winner of Fallbrook and Vista. Fallbrook getting a big-time walk-off Dave's Dinger type vibes to finish their game. Congratulations to Fallbrook to force this game. I guess, guys, I'm at the point maybe where I'm going to echo the same sentiment as I did with Bishops, that Maranatha, regardless of who wins the Fallbrook or Vista game, is better rested, better suited. They're just a little bit better than the rest of the competition. And so I would say that, hey, let's see Fallbrook win one more. That's dope. I'm down 100%. That's a great story this year to have them make it to a finals. But one of the two teams would have to have one guy just have a great game, eat up all the innings, pitch super efficiently for them to be, I'd say, even on even footing. So, yeah, I think that let's see Fallbrook get that W in the semis, but Maranatha Christian is still going to be, for me, the team to beat in this one. Bodie DeSilva from SB Live Sports.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And with Maranatha, they've been the favorite. I picked them to make a run last year. They didn't do it. They came in as the guys this year, and they're expected to have their ace, Joey Wittig, ready to go in this championship game, whoever it may be between Vista and Fallbrook. He pitched last Friday, 2 hitters, struck out 10. He's an Air Force signee. Like whoever comes out of it, Vista or Fallbrook's gonna have their hands full. And Maranatha, you can always kind of trust to score some runs. So that just adds to it even more. I think this is Maranatha's time, and they're set up perfectly.
Set up perfectly.
I agree. Their hitters are locked in.
Dave agrees.
Yeah, their hitters are locked in right now.
Oh.
I mean, as many games as they played, their timing is good. Pitching's ready to go. Maranatha, nasty Natha rolls.
And all I can say after the consensus of all three of us agreeing on that, congratulations, Fallbrook, on being the Division III champions. We are awful at our job. We'll put that on the poll at SD Prep Insider on Twitter. On Instagram is where you can find all of our polls. Are we awful at our job? Let's move on to, hey, you know what? We might be. Maybe we're just all delusionally confident. And let's talk about the Division II bracket, because, guys, I got to say it.
Is that
It's
today?
happening.
Is that today?
No, but we got a little Sage Creek in the big time here. Oh, the Bobcats! Oh, they came out hunting this year. Now they're saying we want some Dons.
Scaring you?
We want to have a little fried Don steak. Nom, 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 nom. Woo! Sage Creek, baby! Woo! And a little Sage Creek in the big time just
You're scaring the intern.
terrified the intern. Obviously, I would like to say, look, hey, I'll say this. Harrison Humberstone. You look that name up. You cross-reference when he graduated. We were in from his junior year. That's how much of a bro we count as Sage Creek. We are not Johnny-come-lately on this. My boys are winning that championship this year. Dave Ring, you have been one of Cathedral Catholic's biggest supporters this year. How do you see this one going?
Oh, man.
Oh, also, shout out Dave Ring for supplying these spectacles. It helps me get in character, and I might, these might have to become regular featers on the show. I might have to go get a pair.
Even before the show started, guys, Christian's on a good one today, man.
Hey, look,
He's lighting it up in the studio.
Woo! Hey, you know why? You know why? Because all of this time we're talking about it, we haven't set. For those of you that are just joining the playoffs, Sage Creek was in the play-in game. A 12 seed from the play-in.
A play-in, and then the next day had to go on the road for another elimination game.
Whooped it at Nato. Whooped it at Christian. Whooped it at Del Norte. What? Yeah, I know. I'm a little
What a
much for
run.
the intern. Let's go. All right, Dave.
All right.
Your
Well, I'll throw
thoughts?
some love to Sage Creek. Porter Rovin, Elijah Stevens, Max Beal, man, you guys did wonders against Del Norte. 6-0 win. Congrats to you guys. However, Cathedral on the other side had a walk-off by Jaden Yace. I mean, these guys are rolling. I haven't seen a more solid group of guys than this Cathedral team this year.
We'll put that on the poll at SD Prep Insider.
These guys are vibing.
Is Cathedral Catholic baseball vibing?
They are. They're feeling themselves.
Not putting that on the poll.
They, I think, are poised to win this game today.
Tomorrow.
Excuse me. They're playing at USD. Go get some tickets. Go follow your squad.
No,
Saturday.
You're right. Today,
Is this today?
Yeah, I thought,
USD tonight. Yep.
I
Oh.
thought it was today. That's right.
Deal.
It is today.
it
USD
is.
Fowler Park. Is that what it's still called?
Yep.
All right. Today. I'm going to take Cathedral. I think they put themselves in a position to really play their best baseball at this time of year. They've gone through, the ups and downs of a season and really come together as a group. And I think, I got to give props to them on their fantastic season, and the same with Sage Creek. I just think this is the end of the road for them as far as, having to play a team where they're coming together at the right time. So I'm going to take Cathedral today.
Fair enough. Bodie De Silva from SB Live Sports. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I'll own it and start with saying that I had Montgomery and Mission Hill. So congrats to those two teams who didn't make it to this round. And Montgomery, it was unfortunate. 0-2 didn't score a run. Cathedral's into this spot. They've won 8 in a row. They just feel like they've found the right way and how they want to play at this time. I expect we'll see junior Trey Telfer on the mound, 6-0, a 1.68 ERA. But the way Sage Creek's hitting right now, it's tough to say that they can't win this game. Ultimately, I will pick Cathedral, but I think this is a one-run game and comes down to something late. But for this run for Sage Creek, this will be their 7th game, I think, in 11 days. And you were on it about this too, Christian, but yeah, just a 12 seed making it in a higher bracket. It's just what makes these double elimination playoffs so fun.
Unleaded insanity. Let's move on to Division 1, Santana and Patrick Henry.
Wow.
Okay, look, Santana, like I said, off the top, we're wrong. We get it. You guys have been very good-natured about it. If we pick Santana at this point, it's transparent, hollow, that we are giving them, oh, here's your flowers. If we pick against them,
we'll throw them some game
we're
balls.
Considering to be idiots. But, so I don't know what to do in this one. Both these teams are really good. This is going to be a fantastic game. Yeah. And look, it's at SDSU. That's dope. This is a win-win for the whole county. This is a cool game. I guess I got to go Santana. They played one less game. I don't know. Bodie De Silva, Dave Ring, you guys are much more intelligent about baseball. I will help calm down the intern. And let's start with you, Bodie.
In this case, I picked Patrick Henry to win this bracket. I had them beating San Marcos, who they came up a little short. Pitching was tough for them. Patrick Henry, they shared that Western League title. I really like what they've done that way. I will be curious to see what they do pitching wise, because they threw their guy, their ace, Talon Gardini, yesterday, did everything they needed to do. I believe he also hit a 2-run home run. He's as good of an uncommitted junior as we have in this county. So I'll be curious to see who they have pitching wise, because there's not a ton of options lined up. But when you get to this spot, you throw out who you have. Santana is not a team that is going to beat you with a ton of runs. They've beat you with a lot of quality pitching. So from their point of view, I expect this to be a really low scoring game. I did pick Patrick Henry when it started, so I will pick them again. But I do expect we will see really good pitching from Santana too, whoever that ends up being on the mound. I believe it's going to be Destin Allen Fox. He has not pitched so far this week. And as I pull up his stats here, just want to mention he's 9-1 with a 0.63 ERA. So this should be a good one if he's on the mound for the Sultans.
Dave Ring, your thoughts?
Burnt Talon Gardini, 6 innings, 2 hits against Poway. He shut them down, man. He had a 2-run bomb against them too. Could you believe that? So, I mean, talk about a Shohei performance by this guy. I mean, you got to give love to Patrick Henry. They've really done wonders this year as far as beating really solid teams. Carter Lockwood that game had a 2-run single, beating Poway 6-0. I am going to take Patrick Henry in this bracket, but I wanted to give some love to the hitters over at Santana because they're hitting a little bit during the playoffs. Landon Bailey, Alex Giles, Bradley Phillips. I mean, these are the guys that are solid at the top of their lineup and really, barreling a lot of baseballs for the team. And like we said, you got to give Santana a lot of credit. Every year they come back, and this year me and Christian were talking before the show. They're 18-10 to finish the season here.
But they're the proof that strength of schedule is very important. If you learn something from it,
exactly.
You come out strong like they did.
And they were not in the top 10 for the majority of the season until these last few games here. 18-10 going into the championship game. I got Patrick Henry here.
Oh, what a rug pull. Compliment them. They're into the 10. Oh, yikes. Adios. Out of there. Okay, let's talk about the last bracket, the open division games. LCC, Eastlake. No bad version of this game. This is dope. This is an awesome championship. I've said it all year, and I'll continue to say it again until the defending champs prove me otherwise. I have no reason to doubt them. I have also starting to feel old because I'm name checking a lot of previous classes, but if you go back and you Google our last interaction with Casey Schmidt, I was forced to wear an Eastlake jersey and issue a public apology. I've already done one public apology, which I'll bookend it.
And now he's like a 360 hitter in the majors.
Yeah, San Ysidro girls across again. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what I think's about what's interesting about this stuff is like the guys like Kalen Applefield. These guys are going to get pitched to in these games, man. They've been getting...
Well, yeah, no, but what I'm saying is the last time Eastlake was in a championship game, they went down initially that first inning. And then Dave Gallegos was like, it's whatever. I've got some freshmen. They ain't shit. They just chill. Boom, home runs launched in every direction for the next 9 innings. It's like
I'm excited to see something like this in this game for sure.
So this could very well just be the end of the human civilization that we know because two unstoppable forces are going to collide. giant.
Yeah.
This will be like the movie Oppenheimer coming out. There's just going to be a mushroom cloud and dust settling. Let's put that on the poll as our last poll of the regular season. Is Eastlake versus LCC going to bring about the doom of humanity or the apocalypse or something? Dave Ring, let's hear a prediction, man. What do you got?
Well, in my opinion, like I was just saying, these games are amazing because pitchers are as confident as they've ever been. So they challenge the best hitters on the team who, for the most part, guys like Kalen Applefield, Gabe Camacho, who homered in the game against Carlsbad. I mean, these guys aren't getting pitched to that much. And so these games are the best to watch. The pitchers are stubborn. They think they're so good. They're going to get these hitters out and they're going to challenge them. I'm so excited to see who comes out on top. Eastlake, you got to give credit to them. I mean, they're just grinding. They scored how many runs, Bodie, yesterday against RB?
They're still scoring.
9 on Tuesday, 15 on Wednesday.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, they just put up some runs against RB. RB with a fantastic season, but just ran into a buzzsaw. Eastlake hitting barrels still. I think the run scoring is still happening today, right?
So you're saying Eastlake's out there looking for some runs on Saturday. They're going to get some home runs.
I don't think it's going to be a run fest. I think, like Bodie said, these games are going to come down to, 1 or 2 runs. I do think it's going to be about 8 to 6. I'm going with a high amount of runs scored, but a tight game. So I think LCC is going to come out on top of this game.
Bodie De Silva, what do you got? Last baseball game of the year.
Well, before regionals, but we want to prioritize the section stuff. 2 teams with a lot of experience. La Costa won this obviously last year. The year before they won their regional. Eastlake won the Open in 19 and 21 and 17, and they won D1 last year. So a lot of these players come into these games. They've been in these big moments. I don't think that's going to be the problem. I do wonder what Eastlake will do on the mound. They had to use a lot of pitching these last couple days. La Costa had yesterday off. They're going to have Stunner Gonzalez and Gabe Camacho ready to go to face a lineup that with Eastlake, I don't think there's any question they're hitting as well as anyone in the county. They just showed that 1 through 9, they can all hurt you. I will go with La Costa here. I'm going to go 5-3.
So congratulations, Eastlake,
as the Open champions.
All right. Well, I guess shout out to Fallbrook and Eastlake for being guaranteed championships.
Well, we're at least one of us picked right, so at least
we all swept on 2 of those divisions, and we all said LCC.
Well, if you're into the odd numbers, Eastlake won Open in 17, 19, and 21, so that would mean that this is their year.
So what? Do you say Dave Gallegos and Bruce Bochy both got some sort of weird
the odd year,
odd year?
Yeah, they got between. Yeah, that'd be a complicated poll, but between even and odd years, do Dave Gallegos and Bruce Bochy got us all covered. Anything else that we got? I'll remind everybody you can buy tickets for all these at GoFans at the CIF site. Largely, this is cashless now. This is online. This is on your phone. Get on board with it. Get some tickets. Get out here. They're not that expensive. These are great venues. Softball and baseball are going to be at the same spot on a couple of these days. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you follow SB Live Sports at scorebooklive.com or the SB Live Sports app so that you can stay up to date with all of these scores. You can follow Dave at DR Player Development for all of your hitting needs. And you can stick it right here. We'll be back for one more season episode to talk about some state championships next week, as well as do our player fantasy draft. Haven't really figured out the parameters this year. Might go classes. One of us will take sophomores, juniors, seniors. Maybe we'll just all do something different. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Most likely Dave and the intern will be battling for first place on that one because they usually get the best picks. I don't know. At this point, I'm just rambling. We'll see you guys at the finals.
Peace out.
Remember? Little Sage Creek in the big time here. Go Pointers.